till you have won, sons of Washington. Rock, rock, rock! Hail to the Redskins! Hail victory! Braves on the warpath, fight for all ye see! Run up, pass and score, we want a lot more. Beat 'em, swamp 'em, touchdown, let the points soar. Fight on, till you have won, sons of Washington. Rock, rock, rock! Hail to the Redskins! Hail victory! Braves on the warpath, fight for all ye see.
Washington Redskins owner Daniel Snyder has finally provided a coach with some much-needed job security. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Two-Man Advantage Podcast, Kevin McShann, and I wanted to take some time on this Sunday to discuss the finer details of the 2-year contract extension signed by Jay Gruden with the Skins. Now, Daniel Snyder has owned the Redskins since 1999. And this is the first coach he's ever given a contract extension to. He's filtered through 7 coaches, none of whom have lasted more than 4 years with the squad. Now, this new deal keeps Gruden in Washington through the 2020 season. He's compiled a record of 21, 26, and 1 during his 3 years with the team. And while the coaching ranks may be secure in Washington, you can't say that about the rest of the organization. As we saw earlier this week, the Redskins placed the exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Kirk Cousins, meaning if he's still with the Redskins by July 15th, he'll make an estimated salary of $24 million, which means during the 2 years that he's been franchised by the club, he's made just over $40 million. Now, the number one decision that Gruden and the Redskins have to make is what to do with Cousins. They've bought themselves some time until July 15th in order to work out a long-term deal or try to trade him. Now, the Redskins constantly have said that Kirk Cousins is someone that they want to build around. But when you look at the Redskins' makeup on offense, they're expected to lose at least one of their game-changing wide receivers in Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson, leaving youngster Josh Dobbs, Jordan Reed, and Jamison Crowder in the stable of pass catchers for the Redskins. So when you look at the extension for Gruden, yes, it's a good thing that Gruden is back with the team and they're finally having some continuity with that position, which is a good thing. Something Snyder has not done in the past. But when you look at their offensive makeup, something Gruden is specialized in, that's how we got the job in Washington. You have to wonder how the makeup of that team is going to be offensively. The story with Kirk Cousins, will he get traded? Will he get a long-term extension? Those are all things that'll matriculate through training camp, and so we'll be watching that. Also, you've got to look at defensively. The Redskins, quite frankly, were one of the worst defensive teams in all of football last year. They had a purge of their defensive coaching staff, firing multiple assistants and turning to ex-Indianapolis Colts and 49ers defensive assistant and defensive coordinator Greg Minuski to turn around that unit. The Redskins, of course, they've got to decide what they're going to do with Chris Baker and generating more of a pass rush. The Redskins were in the bottom third in the league last year in both turnovers and sacks. So Greg Minuski has his work cut out for him there as well. When you look, also, there's one more point I want to make about the Redskins and their instability. Scott McCloughan, the team's general manager, isn't even at the combine, so that's a fluid situation. So yes, Jay Gruden is a solid coach, and yes, they finally have some stability in that position, but there are so many other questions that the Redskins have to answer. What to do with Kirk Cousins? How do you value Kirk Cousins' production? He puts up the numbers, but they collapsed down the stretch and didn't make the playoffs, allowing the Lions to sneak in last year. How do you evaluate the mistakes at critical points? Kirk Cousins now on that end of things with the Redskins and the contract negotiation, he has the leverage now because he can't be franchised again and he's 27 years old. So the Redskins, because they can't franchise him again because that'll be a 40% increase of what he's making this year. So you're not going to do that again. So the Redskins have to finally make a decision on Cousins and how they're going to move forward in their quarterback position. Certainly, Jay Gruden got the job in Washington because of his propensity to make average quarterbacks better. He did it with Andy Dalton in Cincinnati. He was charged of doing that with Robert Griffin III. That didn't work out, and they turned to Cousins because he got a better grasp of the system. Now again, Cousins has to prove that he is capable of not making the big mistake, because one of the primary reasons that he has not been given the extension is because of his propensity to make the mistake. He'll put up the numbers and he'll make some throws that you'll be proud of, and then you'll scratch your head and wonder why he's done that. So the extension for Gruden is good, but you have to look at what to do with Kirk Cousins. what's going to happen with their wide receivers and offensive weaponry. How does Josh Doctson materialize and develop? How does the defense go from the bottom cellar of the league? So yes, Jay Gruden has his job security, but he has plenty of work to do to put together the Redskins for the 2017 season. Thank you, everybody, for watching this latest edition of Kevin's First Take.